Hi everybody, I'm Zach and I like movies. Hope you had a nice Easter. I spent my Easter Sunday morning at the theater watching Sinners. This is the latest film from writer-director Ryan Coogler, who over the last couple of years has really established himself not just as like a generational talent among the current crop of filmmaking auteurs, but I think has really by now set himself as one of the greats. His eye for character detail of family history and their lived-in environments is really something special, and we don't really like see all that often, especially like given the quality of not just the detail but also like the quality of the works he's put out. I don't think he's even really made a bad movie necessarily, and like he takes such care in his films, be it the small and personal indie movie of Fruitvale Station to even the large franchise blockbuster mega hit Black Panther, he takes such care in evoking the political with the personal in ways that feels very authentic and intimate, and without ever sacrificing any of that for his more pop filmmaking efforts. If anything, those elements only enrich those movies even more. I think that's definitely the case for both Black Panther and Black Panther Wakanda Forever, but it's definitely the case for Creed, which I think, decade out, it's still kind of one of the great legacy sequels ever made. Like, it's like the moments in that movie that I just get chills thinking about it. But here he is back again in 2025 with Sinners, a wholly original blank check movie that is just folks, this is a winner. This is a run don't walk movie. This is a major instant classic. Really, I'm putting it down. This is an all-timer. This will go down as one of those great movies. This is the kind of bold blank check big swing movie that you really want a filmmaker with clout to make. So wow. Okay, so basic setup, because I'm a little unsure how much I want to explain if you somehow stumble onto my video and you haven't heard what it is or seen any trailers or anything. But anyway, so it is set in 1932 Mississippi, and you have a pair of twins, both played by Michael B. Jordan, who play Smoke and Stack. They are a pair of twin gangsters who buy up an old sawmill and trying to turn it into a speakeasy. They get a juke joint going. They get a nice crew, nice local friends made of. And they got blues. They have a great blues player, kid. They got a preacher's son who plays blues like nobody's business, and it's absolutely swinging, absolutely popping off. And then there is a switch because it turns into a siege thriller with vampires. Yeah. So yeah, it is this really. It is at all points thrilling, exciting, bold movie that is so it's so satisfying when a big swing like this pays off, because this is a movie that like clearly has money behind it. Let's say maybe some like $90 million or something like that, and for something like this to have this kind of like a period piece that really lets you soak in like the detail of it, and really lets you sit in like this movie is like 2 hours and just shy of like 2 hours and 20 minutes long, and none of it feels like wasted time at all. And in fact, the pace is so well paced that it feels like you could watch this like multiple times over the weekend and never feel tired. Like, and especially in like the first half of it, where it's just really easing you in and letting you soak in this town, this like community of characters. There's and for the whole first hour, you really just kind of sit in this world and really start to connect with these characters and really feel and care for them. And you have like such great performers too. You have the likes of Tanaji Jackson, of course, Michael B. Jordan doing double bill as twins. He's another one of like the great, like when he like works with Ryan Coogler, I think he really gets the best out of him. Kind of the same way that Spike Lee and Denzel tend to bring the best out of each other. Not to like immediately jump to like the other great black director, but man, you see Malcolm X, right? That's amazing, one of the greatest of all time. But anyway, Michael B. Jordan does incredible work here. Like he does, like there's enough like distinction between Smoke and Stack that you really get a feel for like what both of them, like how both of them act and what the two of them act like individually with other characters and each other. There's a great performance from Delroy Lindo as usual. He is pound for pound almost honestly like tends to run away with the movie whichever role he's in, no matter how small it is. To Five Bloods, wow. But here he's got great comedic timing. He's just an absolute joy to watch. Hailee Steinfeld is in it and she's great. Jack O'Connell is marvelous too. But we really need to shout out young Miles Caton, who is from what I understand, this is like his first acting gig, because he is a guitar player who can really play. He was actually on tour with her when he was signed on to this, and he learned blues, and he learned to play blues guitar for 5 hours a day of practice, and it really pays off. The music in this, the music playing in this is powerful. You feel this has the kind of blues music that you feel in your soul. It is, oh man, if you can see this in a crowd, you really need to see it in a crowd. Just sort of feels the energy that communal energy and power that you really get when you not play and feel and hear music together. And that's I think is one of the great joys and great themes of the movie, is just sort of this great proof, the great power that music has, and it being a sort of a Southern Gothic, which, by the way, Southern Gothic horror is something of a niche subgenre that I don't think really gets explored all too well. And the closest the closest we tend to get is something a little bit like this, or of this sort of era. I think a story that's definitely on this film's mind is the story of Robert Johnson. The man who sold his soul to the devil to play blues music, and I think that does sort of have that story in its pocket. There's a lot of other historical folklore to this in this movie. It's very, very much a part of it, because not to give too much away, but there is a history that it evokes within the supernatural folklore, both of old country, both of of Irish culture, of this sort of more local southern folklore, of African culture, and they all sort of have the same have some similar sort of I guess moral kind of losing myself here. They all have the same sort of sort of on the same plane in the terms of how it's implemented. It's I guess I could call it John Constantine rules, where they're all true, but the denominations of it are sort of they all feel both represent both it they're both sort of like representative of each own's culture, but also like feels like a greater allegory for like a sort of a unified branch. If any of that made sense, I'm sort of dancing around further details of the movie because I feel like a lot of the fun and the surprise of this, does kind of come from going in blind. But man, even knowing that it is vampires, when it does take that genre switch and it reveals itself to be it's a vampire movie, and it really leans into that sort of like horror element, it's still so satisfying knowing that. And all the and like great, like you think of like horror of like vampires trying to get into like people trapped in a place and there's vampires. Immediate thing people jump to is like From Dusk Till Dawn, and that definitely is part of that. But honestly, in tone and execution, this owes a little more to John Carpenter's Assault on Precinct 13. And mostly because not just in tone, but also like the way that it uses vampire mythology and also vampire allegory too. Like there's a really hardline rule about being invited in. So there's kind of the standoff element where you're gonna let us in, or well, wait. All right, we'll wait. and man, there's so like even just like fresh off my one view, and I could still feel like there's so much to dig deeper into, and like the more cultural, the more like again the ties of the period, the ties of the history of these characters that are in some places are mostly left implied, but like really let you they give you just enough detail that like really lets you think about like, oh, how does that mean? Oh, how does there, like, again, it's giving you meat with your genre food. And and speaking of that genre food, it uses the horror elements very, very well. Like I was a little worried at the beginning where there was like this kind of prologue that like, oh, it's a bit of a flash forward, and then like there's flashes intercut, these very sharp strains. It's that kind of like jump scary kind of way. But when it catches up to those moments, and they really just let you, there's a lot of trust that Coogler has in the audience with these horror aspects, because like it will just sort of like give you just enough of a spook and then cut away, just fully cut away. Not even just like do like some like non-diegetic like strain thing, like a sharp like violent strain to do a jump scare. Like here's a scene. No spoilers. Character leaves the group. Need to go take a piss in the woods. Never a good sign. And they hear something. Here's something that they like start hearing something. It's like whispering. It's looking around. It's trying to figure out what it is. You just hear a whisper. Peekaboo. And then it cuts away. And you immediately know what that means. And your heart just sinks because, oh no, oh God. And yeah, that sinking feeling mostly comes because you spent the first hour, like Ryan spent the first hour of this movie so patiently and confidently just letting you soak in and feel for these characters. All of them are so wonderfully performed, and the filmmaking is again, it's bold, it's confident. He knows exactly what he wants to do. He knows exactly what to show, what not to show, and he really lets you just revel in this atmosphere. And oh man, the atmosphere is greatly magnified by the incredible score. Like, oh my God, Ludwig Göransson. Thank God that the stars aligned and they became friends in film school, because I can't imagine like how things would have looked differently. This score is absolutely incredible, and it's like it's bluesy, it's rock, it's like that great blues guitar, that great menacing string sections. but also the music, the diegetic blues music that they play is just as incredible. There is like, you better go see this movie soon. Better see it quick, because people are going to talk. They're going to talk about that scene. You will know it when you see it. It is this absolutely incredible scene of a long take in this juke joint where music is played and it evokes the transcendent magical power that playing music has, evoking spirits of, like, it's the closest thing that we will probably ever get to time travel, playing music. Just, and you feel it, and you just feel it in the air, you feel it in the energy, that moment I was floating, I was levitating on air. If I didn't think this was like an all-timer, I remember by minute 45, like this scene, yeah, it's just incredible. Oh my god, transcendent. Oh man, it's quite a thing of beauty, and this whole movie is just so consistently thrilling and so cathartic and it's so satisfying. Everything about it is just, everything it strives to do, everything it aims for, it succeeds in all the vigor of the period detail, all the genre flair with like the horror elements and the vampire stuff, and just the beautiful canvas that it has of like blues music and blood, and oh man, and also you get some like really sweet oh my god, it's so like tender and caring with its characters and its history, its place in history, but also like feeds back into itself about like that idea of like music transcending time and space. Like stay through the credits. There's actually a mid-credit scene that is very important. It's a very important coda to the rest of the movie, and sits very well. Can't believe that everything works as well as it does. And like hell, and also you get some sick Ku Klux Klan carnage just as a treat. How can you hate that? And what? Yeah, I really need to get a second go around in this as soon as I can. And because God, it's so rich. The lore is incredible. It's just Ryan Coogler absolutely crushed it. And really should see this on the biggest screen possible too, because he really went all out in shooting this on as big a format as possible. There's a great video, I'll link it in the description. There's a great video that Ryan did with Kodak, where he was talking about the various film formats that exist, and the formats that he shot Sinners on. And he shot, like, there are screenings of this you could see on like on IMAX 70 millimeter, on Dolby 70 millimeter, I think. And if you can see any of them in the biggest screen possible, the biggest format you can, you really need to take the opportunity. This demands to be seen in a theater, and just see it in a crowd, see it, feel it, and man, he's one of our best, one of the best we got, and you really should share us. And this is an all-timer. This is easily my favorite thing of 2025 so far, and I think it deserves nothing less than a solid 9. This is an all-timer. It's great. It's just incredible. So that'll be it for me. I think that's all I can really say right now. This is really run, don't walk, see Sinners as soon as possible, and spend Sundays with Sinners. It's great. Can't recommend this enough. So that'll be it for me. I'm Zach. I like movies. I like Ryan Coogler movies. What's your favorite Ryan Coogler movie? I think this might be my favorite thing Ryan Coogler's done so far. But if it's anything, if this movie tells me anything, he's got a long, very prestigious career ahead of him. Still, continuing to prove his worth. And that'll be it for me. I'm Zach. I like movies, and I got a lot more movies to watch. And I hope you watch movies too, because movies are life, and life is good. And I will see you all next time. You take care of yourselves.